Today we have the Q&A. Sometimes there were complicated, advanced, and scholastic academic questions which are of very little benefit to most of us. Sometimes the questions themselves were problematic. Most of us are learners. May I suggest questions forwarded should be practical, applicable, and beneficial in our daily life and practice. They should be in the suitable domains in Dhamma and the four foundation of mindfulness. Buddha said, what I know is like the leaves in the forest. What I teach you is like the leaves in my palm, and they are enough for getting out of samsara. Similarly, our attention should be more narrowed down and focused only on in the suitable domains as our energy and resources are limited. Bhante has been patiently and compassionately teaching and guiding us and accommodating all our questions. May I suggest that we make optimal use of this platform for the benefits of most yogi and listener. Bhante, please comment. Thank you. All right. Okay. Now, throughout this time, we have been doing it. We have been doing these talks since maybe I think since November last year, and I've been carry on doing these Dhamma talks, and my way of giving Dhamma talk. Sometimes also I do a Q&A session, because with the Q&A session we can enable us as the teacher or as a speaker to understand whether the listener or the listeners understand what we say correctly. Because sometimes we say something, they may think of something else. So the questions here is help us to open up so that we can able to straighten or to correct certain things. Now, of course, when we are learning the Dhamma, all of us are different. Now, all of us are different. Some of us learn Dhamma by scholarly thinking. Some learn the Dhamma by action. They don't have much of a scholarly thing. Some action means like doing dana, doing sila. They understand that, they practice that, and they are good with it. Some learn the Dhamma by observing other people, and of course they are also doing it, practicing, and so on. Some people, both scholarly and also the practice, are very well developed. Some are more scholarly type, some are more practical type. So there are different types of Buddhists and different type of yogis, different types of listener like what we have right now. And in the listeners over here, and the listeners over here too, not all of us are very advanced. There are some of us are very new to Buddhism. A few that I know of. They are very new to Buddhism. But nevertheless, they still come to the Dhamma talk here and they try to listen. And sometimes we talk about Abhidhamma a little bit, we talk about Pali words a little bit. They may hear a little bit difficult. A little bit difficult. Then we understand also. Now, some of you again, they are pure Vipassana practitioner. Now, some of you may be also practicing Anapana, practicing Metta, then you transfer to Vipassana, and some of you are just doing only Metta. So there are various range of yogis and listeners over here in Zoom and also in the Facebook here. My job is to try to accommodate all. Now, whichever question you come in. Now, when you say that sometimes like Of course, the questions sometimes they are complicated. They are sometimes they are not so correct. But this is how we learn. This is how we learn. This is how we learn from others. And my job here is to help you to straighten your views, which is one of the 10 meritorious action to straighten your views. And when you understand it, your views in hopefully get straightened up, get corrected, and it's perfect, and it's all right. Sometimes you have questions are complicated. Sometimes there are questions are very technical. Sometimes there are questions are very academic. Sometimes there are questions who are in a way contradictory to the Dhamma. Sometimes there are questions in the sense of like connected with the Dhamma, but in the daily life, and then how to practice. Some questions are very how to practice applicable, and so on. So there are various range of questions, and it's perfect and it's wonderful. So because here right now we are not in the retreat, we are not in the retreat, then the questions I put it within the umbrella of Dhamma, then it's fine. You don't have to be just for foundation of mindfulness or this or that. Within the umbrella of Dhamma, it's good. So now earlier on, some time back, I sometimes when it comes to the Friday, Wednesday, I say that when you ask your question, feel within the Dhamma, I wouldn't able to answer certain questions. For example, as I said that if you ask me about how the ghost look like, of course I cannot understand. cannot this one. Or you ask me, you got problems with your husband. You argue. How do I look married to you? To answer your question. I'm not in that situation to answer those questions. Certain questions I have to put it aside. But so far, in all this time, the questions are connected with the Dhamma. I have not rejected any question at all. I have not created any question or planned any question in so far that what I have been doing with the Q&A. I have not done anything. If it's not enough questions, so we finish it earlier. We have more questions, we drag it a little bit more. So here, questions all come in from all walks of life. And this is how we learn. This is how we learn. I don't want us to narrow down in a certain sense that it's just on the four foundation on the vipassana only, and then we ignore the rest of those people who are practicing also in another way. So that is not my this one, because we want to help as much as we can for those who are going on this noble path. All right. So question within the Dhamma, when we have this type of Zoom talks, then it's perfectly fine. But when you come to a retreat with me, then all these type of questions, some of the questions, I will ignore, because when it comes to really in the retreat, I do not want the yogis going to think of all kinds of academic questions. If you all kinds of academic questions, I'll throw the question back to you. Because what for you want to do that in the retreat session? The retreat sessions are supposed to be applicable, meditate. Don't think of it don't think too much. Maybe you have problems with your meditation, or you don't understand a certain terms or certain passage of what the teachers mentioned, then yes, then you ask those type of questions. But if you ask me all kinds of academic questions during in a retreat, I don't entertain. But now I entertain anything that is within the Dhamma, if I can able to understand, able to answer your questions. Perhaps it may not be a satisfaction, but I answer it the best as I can within a very small time slot. Certain questions we can able to explain more than what within sometimes there's a number of questions we cannot explain everything. So for now I don't want to confine into just Vipassana meditation only. Although my talks is connected with Vipassana meditation, but sometimes I talk about within samatha a little bit also, not that because I know how to practice samatha, but mainly I do focus on Vipassana. So the question, when that question come in, there are also various types of questions because there are new yogis, there are new listeners, there are 20, 30 years, 40 years of being a Buddhist and practitioner and so on. Yeah? So, so this is how I look at it. This is how I look at it. Yeah? So I not just only practical daily life, but whatever questions you under the Dhamma, not under the sun, under the Dhamma, then we help you to clear your understanding, or I can sometimes give you more pointers, more tips for you to do things a little bit better. I may not be perfect, but what I can do, whatever I can do. Okay, now this is all the question there is. Correcting one's view, straightening where Dittiju Kamma. This is one of the 10 meritorious if you can able to straighten, this is also one of the 10 meritorious action, mental action here. Okay,